Here in Nigeria, the country has low penetration of insurance with some low-hanging fruits. But the regulatory agency for the sector has summoned courage to reform some of the processes. And that's the reason for the hosting of an interactive session with major consumers of insurance products and services in Lagos. At the session, Dangote Industries was represented by the Group Risk Officer Adenike Fajemiroko. She speaks to some of the needed insurance solutions for one of Africa's largest conglomerates.
One of the things that we will that we require really as a client to have an effective risk management and insurance portfolio is solutions, right? By solutions, I mean we expect the insurers and the necessary stakeholders to contribute and add value in the understanding of our business. So to the next slide, really I'll focus firstly on the knowledge. There are certain parts of the portfolio where we experience, I keep saying but we experience that the knowledge actually possessed by some of the insurers is quite limited. By that I mean, how well do you actually understand my business? How well do you understand cement? How well do you understand oil and gas? How well do you understand in the detail of it? How can you add value to me? I'll give a very good example. Very recently, we acquired an oil rig, OML 71, and which had, I think, about 4 platforms, 12 wells. And in conversations, was acquired from NNPC. In conversations, we were having different discussions around insuring the platforms, the wells, and you were just, this is going to be really tough to insure. It's going to cost you a lot of money. That was just the focus. The focus was around the pricing. And the question was, okay, what can I do basically to ensure this risk is effectively managed? It was interesting that once the likes of the reinsurers were brought in by the insurance companies in terms of from a technical conversation, their conversations were very different. They were talking to us more about how what the things you can do, the way the wells can be managed, basically get into a basic level of safety before we even start to talk about insurance, right? To ensure that we have the appropriate coverage that we will need. So that for me is a good example of where we have certain knowledge gaps, where people are coming and selling insurance to us as an organization, but I feel there's still a gap in terms of the technical knowledge. So yes, you're able to sell this insurance to me, but how well do you actually know my risk as Dangote, and what do you actually bring to the table? Surveyors, adjusters are a very, very good example. You're going through a claims process. I find that they're asking us some questions, and I'm thinking, if you know what you're doing, you should not be asking me these questions. And you are delaying my claims process, and it's almost become like a delay tactic, which is very frustrating for a consumer, because when it's time to pay the premium, they are always the first to pronounce the no premium, no cover, tell you the section in the code where it's come from, etc. Next slide, please. Now, the other issue still around solutions are the existing products and innovation. Here I'm just going to use 2 examples. I think this is general. The Nigerian market has had standard products for quite some time. I'm happy to be argued down on that, but I can only talk from my own position of experience. There are certain risks that they're not necessarily new. They've been coming for a while. We've been experiencing them. If you know the business, if you know the environment that we're in, we should have been preparing to provide these products, right? So an example of that is cyber risk. Yes, AfriRe provides something, but really in terms of the market in this area, it is quite limited. Sorry, please move on. Next slide. Okay, thank you. To be providing us something in this particular area. Another example, one that is very, very key on the portfolio right now for a Dangote, where we have a lot of distributors, we have a lot of what I call the local outgrowers. As I mentioned, I have 20,000, as we speak, farmers who we are paying in different types of capacities. Credit insurance is one where, in most of the Pan-African countries where we are, we have, right? Certainly in all the Francophone countries that we're in, there's credit insurance. In South Africa, we have credit insurance. But I don't want to use South Africa because everyone would always say that's more matured. But all the other Pan-African countries we are in, we have credit insurance. When it comes to Nigeria, it's, as in yesterday we're still having meetings, there's still no product that covers this. And I do understand historically the fears around issues we had with insurance bonds, etc. But at the end of the day, risk is a need that we have and should be provided really by our markets. If it's not provided by our markets, we cannot have our hands tied as well, saying that we have to comply with the local content and not go outside. I think there were a couple of conversations today as to us not going directly, etc., which is understood, and we are all for growth locally. However, it should be done within reason of what is actually available.